Hello everybody, I've just recorded a quick video to post it on my Instagram as a story, but it's too long for the story, so I thought, actually I do have YouTube channel, so I have more freedom time-wise. I'm just standing um, somewhere special for me. This is a place where I grew up. It's getting dark. And yes, so this is Croatia, very rural place of Croatia, and I'm just walking in the forest. This is the place where I had my old garden. And let me tell you a story quickly. So I was probably 14, 15, and I used to help to a lady in the village. She was very ill, and one day she told me, "I'll leave you everything I have because you're the only one helping me." And I said, "No, I'm not doing it to get anything. I am just in a position to help you, and that's what I'm going to do." And then her health deteriorated. She was rapidly going downhill, and I used to help as much as I could. I was only a kid at the time. So one day she told me that she has a garden and she can just give me an access to it. And I said, okay, cool, fine. I'll take this, thank you. It was a 500 square meters plot in the middle of the forest above the village, as you can see. And I fell in love. It hit me like a bullet. The garden, the location, the silence, the peace. I've spent my puberty here, learning about nature, reading books, and doing my own stuff, always on my own. And she died, but she left me a document saying, "This is yours, thank you very much." And I didn't want to push the document because I'm not a hungry person, I'm not materialistic. So I thought one day maybe I'll put it on my name, doesn't matter. But then my friends, they've pushed me saying, "Oh, this is yours, go for it, go for it. Go to a court, just a few meetings, hearings, and you'll put it in your name." So I thought, okay, let me do it, which was probably the biggest mistake in my life. I was only young and naive. So I remember the day, the time I've walked into the hearing room, and the lady, the actual owner of the land at the time, she looked at me with absolute hatred in her eyes, and I just thought to myself, this is wrong. This goes against my beliefs. But it was too late. I had to go through it. I had a solicitor. He was very supportive in a way, saying, "Oh, don't worry, this is yours. You have a document signed by her with your name. Do not worry." So, to cut the long story short, I've lost the land because at the time of signing the document, I wasn't an adult. I was 17, not 18. I've lost nerves, I've lost time, I've lost money, I've lost beliefs, and it hit me again. Um, I was very emotionally attached to this garden. It took me 17 years to emotionally detach, which happened maybe 2 years ago. I was sitting here and I just thought to myself, she has emotional control over me. This is wrong. And this control stops me from progression in my life now. Instead of thinking about this land, which is anyway 2,000 miles away from where I live now in beautiful Wales in the UK, I should rather focus to buying a small plot of land in Wales and continuing my dream. So I've managed to detach somehow. And yeah, I'm just in Croatia now, traveling with a very good friend of mine. So I have an hour for myself because I just run out, and this is how it looks like. So I just thought I'll show you around. This was my composting bin, and the garden started somewhere here going down. The location is, as you can see, above the village. Nobody ever comes here. Maybe once a year people will walk here just to clean the path. But this is a forgotten part of the village. Young people have moved to the cities like myself and other people. They're getting too old to deal with things like this. The garden is full of brambles. It's overgrown and you can't even walk through anymore. A few years ago, there was a small path created by the wild boars because I was growing a lot of Jerusalem artichokes and they would dig up the roots in the winter or early spring. But now it's just very silent. And obviously I'm a very different person now. I have my opinions based on experience in life. I'm only 35, but you know, I've seen something in life and I can make statements based on my, let's say, empiric knowledge. So this was the garden and the soil was very heavy, clayey. It was very, very solid. So I brought 100 bales of hay and I started mulching. Within 4 seasons, I've completely changed the structure of the soil on the plot, which was mulched, obviously. I didn't have enough mulch to mulch the whole plot, 500 square meters. This is a stone, and this is kind of entrance to the garden. This is a small path taking you down to the village. I can even see my house from here. This one. And yes, the traces of past still linger. I had raspberries, I had a lot of vegetables and fruit. And as I said, my dream was just to live here and spend my life in silence. But then life happened and it took me far, far, far away. I live in a capital now and I have the allotment, for which I'm very grateful. I'm still practicing mulching, as you know, the same method. But that is it. These are the Jerusalem artichokes. Obviously wild boars can't dig them up anymore because it's all overgrown now. It's early spring, end of February, and wild plants are growing. This is the nettles. This is wild nettle, the one that doesn't sting. There are a lot of edible plants here. I can recognize them. I had a big mint bush here, but it's gone, obviously below these aggressive brambles. Which is fine, you know, this teaches us that nature has an amazing ability to regenerate and we just have to learn from it. This is another end of the village. There's a small path taking you around. This is old plum tree and this was all soil. Obviously nature is taking it back, it's hers anyway. This was cleaned a few years ago and this was all very thick forest, putting a lot of shade on the garden. Now it's more open space. How do I feel? I don't know. I feel free. I feel that I've made reasonable decisions, emotional decisions. It's always nice to be here, don't get me wrong. I will never leave this place. It will always hold a specific, obviously, space in my heart. This is where I shaped my personality. This is me. But life goes on and we just have to take it and embrace it. It's starting to rain. It feels absolutely magical. And I just feel fine. I feel home. Even though Wales is my home as well. So I have 2 homes, number 1 and number 2. Why not? I can. So yes, so there it is. This is where everything started. This is the beginning of my story. 20 years ago, I was 14 when I got here. The lady was growing grape vines. I took them out because they were old and I took it from there, and now nature is taking it back. It's just a cycle, the way it works. Obviously it's not about the plot, it's not about materialistic stuff, it's more about personal freedom and ability to understand that we have to move Um, I feel like I've taken all the good nutrients from the soil and I developed into a seed, and I just have to travel now to germinate somewhere else, and it feels good. It feels good, even though it took me 17 years to detach, but I've done it. I have done it. If I had a chance to buy this plot, yes, I would go for it. However, I wouldn't overpay. I wouldn't be desperate to get it because now I have emotional freedom. Uh, I don't need it. I've grown my personality here, my experience, specific experience about mulching, and that's what I can take now with me to Wales and share my knowledge and not knowledge, experience with you guys. It's still very incognito subject in the gardening world, especially in the UK because of the climate. But yes, this season I'll be posting more videos about the method and what do I do. I'm not saying I'm not making any mistakes, but the method works fine for me. And I will try to answer all your questions about the method. The questions are, the most common questions are, do you have any slugs with issues with slugs? Can't even talk being here. What about the seeds in hay? How do you grow little plants? How do you protect them? What happens? When do you need to apply mulch? I will be answering all these questions, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. I hope you will enjoy. This is very, very basic video. I'm just holding my phone in my hands, so I hope I'm not too blurry. Also, I am an old millennial and I really struggled in the beginning to talk to camera. But I just said to myself, just relax, it's fine. You know, I will never be professional video maker anyway, so this will be the style going forward. Very wabi-sabi, very organic. And yes, I think I'll leave now. It's starting to rain, and also meeting old friends. We're going for a nice dinner. Thank you very much. So I've been talking 12 minutes so far. Any questions, any similar experiences, let me know. Let's talk about them. It's important to talk about the subjects that are hanging in our hearts. And before I go, let me just show you the path going down. It's all very overgrown, but still beautiful. And I'm definitely happy that this garden looks like this at the moment, rather than being used and abused with chemicals and heavy machinery. So there's nothing wrong, you know. Look, it's a home to a peace and wild animals, and it makes me happy. It really does. So yeah, this is descending down. I've also tried to buy this plot of land. There's a small well here, but people didn't want to sell it. Obviously, it's not my destiny to have anything in this part of the world, which I do accept. Anyway, you can't push things like this in life. So brambles, it's early spring, everything is sprouting. Look at these wildflowers. I mean, the nature here is just absolutely wild and beautiful, and you can see wild boars, you can see deers, roe deers, owls, birds. If you go deeper to the forest, you can encounter bears sometimes, not too often in this part of the world, this part of Croatia, but yes, you can see them. I've seen them. You can see wolves, you can see lynx. It's a beautiful wild place. And look at this moss. Look, it's all quiet. Look at these views. This just makes me happy, being away from human drama, being almost withdrawn, and creative. Thank you very much. And as I said, um, write your thoughts and emotions in the comments, and I will see you soon. Stay happy, and I'm sending you nothing but best wishes.